Hey, my loves, it's Kaylin Rose, and today's verse of the day is coming from Luke chapter 6, and it's a call to pray for your enemies and show them love in the way that Jesus would. We're starting at verse 27, and it says, "But to you who are listening, I say, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, and pray for those who mistreat you. Give to everyone who asks you. And if anyone takes what belongs to you, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have them do to you. If you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do good to you, even sinners do that one. What does that credit you? And if you lend to those from whom you expect repayment, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners, expecting to be repaid in full. But love your enemies, do good to them, and lend to them without expecting anything back. Then your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High, because He is kind to the ungrateful and wicked." And so the reason God even speaks on this message is because most time people that may bully you or people that are wicked towards you, that's what they're dealing with internally. It's something called projecting. They project what's going on. That war that's inside them is projecting onto their actions, their motives, their thoughts to the outside world. And so that's why God calls us to just pray for them, because they don't even understand what they're doing half the time. He says, forgive them even if you never hang out with them again. Which is hard, but forgiveness is always for yourself. It doesn't let them off the hook. It's to set yourself free and move on with your life. And you know what praying and just having love for your enemies does? It gives you the power back to you. It gives you the power to focus on yourself, because if you do the opposite of what your first mind reaction to do, which is seek revenge, plot, scheme, ask for your money back, take them to court, you about to put yourself through a whole lot, versus you could take your power back, work on your success. And that's how God uses your enemy as a footstool, because then at the end of the day, they'll have to come back to you one day if they already don't come back to you needing you. So God is saying that don't fight back, just take the power back to be you. And that's a word for somebody. Just take your power back. Don't seek revenge. Don't do them how they did you. Don't cause up and stir up a whole bunch of commotion. Don't get your dad on that man. Don't get your mama for that girl. Don't get your friends to beat somebody up. Leave that in God's hands. Take your power back and be you. Do you. And ask yourself, are you treating someone how you would want to be treated? Because that's my biggest thing. I'm always treat someone the way I would want to be treated. And you look for, even if it is an evil person, you always look at the good at them, but not to a fault as to where you will allow them back into your life. But just see that there was something good about this person that, if you were in a relationship or if you're in a friendship, it doesn't matter what it is. There was some good in them, some good qualities, but sometimes the evilness overpowers the good. And that's why this is hard. This is probably the hardest thing to do, because your enemies, they make you feel like they were against you. And that's because sometimes the devil uses people. So it's just so hurtful when you think someone's on your team and they're not. But that's just because they're not being used by God. Now, if they were to rededicate their life to Christ, then it's a different story. But that's why God calls us to forgive, because forgive them, they don't know what they're even doing. Let it go. And this is personal for me, because I could have, you could easily take someone to court when someone owes you money. That actually happened to me, and I decided, I'm like, man, I don't even want nothing to do with that. Like, I'm letting this go, because I felt, and that was before I was even reading the Bible. Like, I didn't know there was a scripture that even said if you lend to those whom you expect repayment, what credits that to you? But my thing, I wasn't even lending. This was just money that was owed to me, but I didn't even care to have the credit back. Like, I didn't demand it. Like, I'm like, if you feel like you're gonna get away with that, you're not gonna pay me, then just do you. I'm gonna get mine in the end, which is taking my power back and doing what's best for me to become successful. And that's a win in my eyes, because I have a clean conscience. I have a clean slate to know that I am blameless in the sight of God. Like, the monies that I'm owed to me will come from heaven and come from God, even if you refuse to give it to me. Like, I'm not the person that's why there's like family disputes that they go to court, and I'm like, man, I could never take it that far. I'm not gonna go through all that for some money. And that's why there even is that scripture that money is the root of all evil, because money causes that kind of division. And for me, I never wanted to take money so serious to heart where I'm gonna take my revenge back. Like, I'm gonna let God's wrath fall upon if you don't give me what I'm owed, or I don't get repayment. Then I feel like some way the universe is gonna repay me for whatever I did. And so I hope this message just blesses someone's soul to just understand that sometimes just because you want to do things your way, take matters into your own hands, that could be the worst thing you could do. You have to really pray and let God move through you in your heart to forgive someone who doesn't deserve it, and show them that love without reconciling. The love is just forgiving, because I noticed that's what most people who look back on life, they just want to be forgiven. And that's just the mercy of God they want, because they realize and they reflected that I shouldn't have gone about things this way. So just know in the end, you'll get your payment. You're good. You don't have to do anything to your enemies, but just love them like Jesus did. And your reward is with God. And that's a better reward than any revenge could get you. Revenge just is a back and forth battle. There's no battle when you love them. It's over. You dead the issue. So I love you guys, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. And pray for those who mistreat you.